Hi there. Just getting set up. Sorry for the delay here at the beginning. I always end up publishing these exactly how I record them. And today I was putting my phone on the stand, on the kind of the tripod thing that goes over the top of my drawing space, and I evidently pressed the button to make it go live before I was ready, but that's okay. Everything else was done. So thank you for joining. We're working on a live drawing today that is an infinite zoom. It is done using Zoom Art, which is an app that I got on my iPad. It works on anything. You could draw with your finger, but it's better if you have a stylus like I do. As I show you right here, I have an Apple Pencil that's attached to the side of my iPad. So there are other devices that have different kinds of pencils. So I'm going to show you an overall here of, and the app does work on other devices. I'm going to show you an overall of this infinite zoom. The drawing that I'm going to work on today is already in the other, we've already gone past it. I'm going to polish all of these drawings. Like here, there's some details that I need to clean up around the edges of those lines right there. And I just want to make sure everything's up and running here. It is. And so I'm going to zoom back out here. If you've been following my lives, this is the fourth one I've done on this series. And this is the final one on this poem, "Twas the Night Before Christmas," because I'm just coming to the end of it. And it's time to go into the next phase of it, which is making the video and then making an audio to go with it. And that is probably more challenging for me. Making an audio is way more challenging for me than doing a drawing. But that's the next step after I finish tonight. And tonight I'm just going to finish out the portrait that's not done yet. The line drawing is in, but the color is not. And so we'll get out to the beginning here pretty soon. You're going to start to recognize the beginning of the poem. It's going backwards right now. All the imagery is backwards. New fallen snow, threw up the sash. Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap. This might all, oh, hello. Yes, thank you. I had to say hi to everybody that joined just now. Thank you so much for joining. I see, hey, you girl, hi. Theotrove 10, yes, it's an infinite zoom. And I've been zooming for like the whole time that I've been talking here. It's a program. It's it's math magic. Let me just tell you that. Thank you. Yes, please sub. I am really trying to build my audience so that I can move on to the next level in YouTube. Okay, we are at the beginning. We are all the way at the beginning of this drawing. So I am going to go in here to the chimney. I never took you to the end. I think where I started was here. And we go in from here and up the chimney he goes and off into the distance. And he says, "Merry Christmas to all," or "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." That's how the poem ends. Now, the drawing that I still have to do on this is right back here, not very far. This one right here. So this is the the man of the house that was woken up by the clatter, and he rushed to the window, threw open the shutters, and threw up the sash, something like that. And so I actually have him already drawn in color, which I might I wonder if I've got him in my photos, because I'd kind of like to keep the skin tone the same from drawing to drawing. I do know he had gray hair, green eyes, and then he has kind of a dark skin tone, but I don't remember exactly which color it was. So I'm going to go quick and see if I have a picture of him. There he is right there. So what layer am I on? Oops, cancel. I'm on the top layer, perfect. And if I go down here to image, I can just move this image over here. And I want it where it's not going to interfere with my drawing. Tap. Now I have all my skin colors that I can tap into right here. Okay. Okay, so I want to just catch up on the comments. Thank you so much. I come here and draw on YouTube about once a week. Unfortunately, I don't have a regular schedule yet, and it's because I still have a day job. So I fit YouTube in when I can. But I like to get on here at least once a week, because what I find is that my audience tends to be younger than me. They're everywhere from 14 years old up to in their 40s, early 50s, which is all younger than me. And I find that people want to learn how to draw, and they get inspired not by being given a lesson, but they get inspired because they just watch someone else draw and they're like, I can do that, you know? I think that's really what people think, which is all right. It's wonderful, actually. I'm glad that's what people think. So yeah, I do this pretty often, once a week at least. So I get quiet when I start drawing. I keep trying to check the comments though, because I want to make sure that I interact with you all. It's fun. I get so excited when I find out that somebody has decided to start drawing, or they come back on here and they're like, I watched you a month ago and I started drawing after that. Like, that is it, man. That makes my day. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I will be recording Twas the Night Before Christmas in my own voice, reading the poem aloud. I will turn this into a long form video, and there's a couple reasons for that. One is you can get a wide screen if you do a long form video. The screen is bigger. It looks better on like on a TV or an iPad. And I'll probably also do a different kind of a version of it for just a short, but I really want people to go and watch the long form. It won't be super long. It'll be less than 5 minutes for me to read the poem, I'm going to guess. I'm not going to rush through the poem because I don't want to rush through the drawing. I want people to appreciate the drawing as I'm scrolling through. So if you sub to me now, you'll be able to find that later. And it will be, the title's going to have Twas the Night Before Christmas, and it's going to have the words infinite zoom in it too, because those are like the most important things about the video. I don't know exactly what my title is going to be, but it'll have that in it. But if you sub to me, it'll be easy to find it. And I have a lot of other fun videos too, so thank you. I will keep it up. I want to thank everybody who came by. I love the flurry of activity that comes and goes here on YouTube. It's so awesome. Okay, I'm going to knock out a bunch of this color by zooming out here and using my big fat brush and just knock out that color. So I have to be really careful to not accidentally color over this because that's my tunnel into the rest of the zoom. I've been working on this drawing since the day after Thanksgiving, so about November, I don't know what day of the week that was, or the month, probably the 29th or something like that. So I've been working on this in all of my free time, with the exception of going for a couple walks. And yeah, otherwise it's been work or this for days and days and days. It takes a long time to do this many layers in an infinite zoom. I have some drawings I've been working on for months, but I haven't gone nearly as far as I did on this one because I've just put in literally so many hours on this. It's kind of crazy how much time I've put in on it. This is an easy program for anybody to use. It's so basic. It's once you get the hang of the tools, it is like using a magic marker that's got an eraser. And I have some tutorials on how to use infinite zoom. I've got a couple of them up on my channel now. So go ahead and sub, and that way you can come back and find me and more easily. Or you can just look for me in your history, and then when you have time and you want to learn, you can go and sub. If you save this video into watch later, that'll help. Let's see if I can do this with my big fat brush. Oh, I went over. It's hard to get into the corners with the big fat brush. We'll just do a little cleanup as we go. I kind of look at this guy and I think he looks like he's kind of like from, there's a couple places he looks like he could be from. Maybe India, that region of the world. Maybe like Cuba, where there's a mix of ethnicities and cultures. Ah, did it. When I go along, when I just like float right along the edge of an outline, a borderline, and I don't have to go back and erase because I accidentally went outside of it. It's so satisfying. Oops, I went outside of it. It's still satisfying though when you get most of it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What happened? We may have to stop early if I can't get this working again. Let me plug in. Hang on. Hang on. How do these things happen without us knowing? I had this plugged in all night, but maybe the connection wasn't, I didn't really check the battery because it was plugged in. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. Let's see if it comes back on. If it doesn't, I'll have to end the Zoom. We'll give it a minute. Here we go. It's coming back on. We'll give it a second. Come on, wake up, please. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We will be back up and running in no time. Let me just get this. Here we go. Thank you for that. We'll have to see what it saved. I was in the middle of that portrait when it took off. There it is, right where I need it to be. I didn't lose anything. Even knows where I was at with my pen. Thank goodness. Okay, so what color are his lips? Are they the same brown? They're just slightly redder. The thing about this program that's a little challenging is there's no copy and paste. And if you want it to stay very vector quality, you really don't want to use photographs because you lose all the vector quality when you switch to photographs. Those are pixel-based images where vector is a mathematically based image, where it's basically mathematical calculations of lines and areas that you're drawing. And so no matter how close you zoom, you're not going to get pixels on your lines. Watch this. I'm going to go, and I'm going to go, I'm going to go, I'm going to go, I'm going to go, even to the point where it disappears. It's so close. And you never see a pixel. That's not the case on a photograph. You always, like we can go up here. This is a photograph that I took. We can do the same thing, and you see pixels right away. So that's the difference between a photograph and a vector-based drawing. All right, so I've got a little bit of fill-in to do here on this ear. Oops, I'm not on, I have to get the right color. Just check the comments. Sometimes I get lost in my drawing, forget to say hello to people. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so this infinite zoom goes on and on for pages and pages and pages. I'm not going to go through it this minute. I'll go through it in a few minutes down the pathway here. But it's the whole illustration is "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," and I expect that I'm going to have this. I'm going to have the drawing part of it done tonight. I should have the video done in the next couple days, and it will be up on my channel for the holiday season, so you can share it with friends or family who might want to read that poem and see it in a whole different way. Infinite zoom is a whole different way of looking at art. Okay, I did that much. I'll go ahead and I'll go out to the beginning just to show anybody who just joined. Oh no, we've got a dip right now, so I'm going to keep drawing, actually. Thanks for joining me. We're working on an infinite zoom of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And when I get done with this portrait, I'm going to go back out and show the whole infinite zoom again. And I'm getting pretty close with this portrait. Oh, I noticed that I have a line missing. You go up there and we'll grab this gold color where his shirt goes behind him. Okay. Get on the right layer, right down here. Actually, I think I'll go one layer above. I'm going to have to go in and do a little erasing right there. That's okay. Oh, I went way over there. It's not a problem though, because I have an eraser. And when you're on different layers, you can erase and the color that's underneath will show through. You can also hit the back button. I love drawing digitally for those reasons. Go with a little bit darker color for the inside here. Thanks for joining. Working on the infinite zoom. I'm going to go out to the beginning just to show people where we're at. So it'll go all the way out here to the house. This is really going to be the start of the video that I'm going to make from this infinite zoom drawing. And it's all to the poem, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." It's always fun to find new ways to move into your drawing. It's like, where am I going to go into the next part? And I sometimes pick an unlikely place. A lot of times people just pick an eye, or they put something in the sky like this. This is a common thing that people do with infinite zoom. But I had so many opportunities to use the presents and the puffballs on the hats. And now we're going to go through a series of the 8 reindeer. I'll go through it fairly quickly. And we go into the eyes of each reindeer and we get to the next reindeer. Cupid. Whoa, whoa. Forgot to go into the eye. Donner. Blitzen. Blitzen's the last one that he calls out when he calls them by name. I will have this all as a video pretty soon, narrated. Where do we go in here? I have to think about where to go in sometimes. I use the belt buckle on this one. And this one, I think I used the pipe. I went in on the pipe to the eye. And then this is where I was drawing when you might have joined me. So I'm going to go back to it. All right. We're definitely going to want to have an off-white for the hat puffball. Oops, I just went over a little bit there. Okay. Let's put some gray hair on this guy. I wonder if I am on the layer above the brown hair. Okay, good to remember that. The brown skin, not the brown hair. Gray hair, brown skin. I mean, I could go easy on myself here, and I'll show you a trick. If I were to go below this, where all the color is, and I get a big old fat brush, I can quickly fill all that in. I will have to come back and fix that. It's a lot quicker than going and matching it right to the lines of everything. Here I'm going to match it to the lines. Okay, and now I'm going to go up to the brown layer, grab a medium size, and I'm going to grab that color and do my cleanup. That little dot is on the wrong layer. Okay, so let me go back up a layer. I'm going to go up here. And I'm going to grab that skin color, but I'm going to lighten it. We're going to go lighter and create some highlights. Hi there, George Montenegro. Where are you from? That's an interesting name. Montenegro. $67. I don't always know what people are trying to tell me. Sometimes you have to spell it out for me. Just going to create some highlights on his face. And then we'll create some, we'll go just a little bit darker and see if we can create some shadows too. I have to go darker because it blended right in. Oh, his eyebrows were black, weren't they? Let me go back there and fix that. I like to keep the characters, you know, pretty consistent. We'll go almost black here. Let's see, what layer did I do those eyebrows on? Yeah, this one I did them on different layers. This one I did the smart way. It's really fast to fill it in. This one I did not do the smart way. I have to go up here to, I wonder if I can do it on, no, I have to go all the way up here, I think. Do I? Maybe I can do it here. Nope, it's not showing. I have to go all the way up here. So the problem is if I just go like that, see, it goes outside, and I don't want it to do that. I want to stay inside the lines. So I have to do this one the slow way. That's okay. I enjoy drawing, even when it, like, I don't think I used to have the patience to do a drawing like this, because you just have to settle in and say, okay, I'm now going to draw all the little jagged lines on the eyebrows. But if you multiply that by 20 or 30 drawings, you got to have some patience. But most people, once they get the hang of it, they enjoy it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this layer where I did all those shadows, and I'm going to refine them a little bit just with the eraser. I'm just going to make them a little more attractive by putting some points on them. And then something that I did with this drawing is everything's outlined in black, which I switched, which I didn't even know that I had switched, but I switched everything to gold because it's a little more festive. And I'm not going to go back and redo those first few frames of this whole thing, but to stay consistent, sometimes to get the same look, I do have to add some black lines where I normally just have the gold lines, but I'm going to do that here, like over his eyes. It creates a little bit of a shadow. That might be a little bit too thick though. I think I'll go with a thinner line. Another thing that I do to make eyes feel a little more realistic is I go in here on the, so having a gold outline is not realistic. So really, if you're going for realism, you won't have outlines. But this makes it feel a little more real by putting this little white water line at the bottom. This one already looks like it has a water line at the bottom, because the eye was up a little higher and there's a flat spot at the bottom. So the other thing that I did on this drawing was I put some texture on the shirt, and then his hair, I gave it some little kinky curls. So I think it needs that. So I'm going to go there, and all I need to do is make sure I'm above my gray hair layer. We'll go up here just to be safe. Thanks for joining me on my infinite Zoom tonight. This is the last in a series of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. This will be turned into a video in the next few days, and I'll narrate the video myself, The entire infinite zoom is the whole poem, and it'll be available for people to enjoy for free, of course, on my YouTube channel. In the long form video section, it'll probably only be a 5-minute video. I'm not going to read the poems super fast because I want to go through the drawing slow enough that people can enjoy all the details and get that kind of, it's kind of a hypnotizing feeling when you're in an infinite zoom and you just keep going and going deeper and deeper and deeper. I'll give you a little taste of that here before, when I finish doing the curls on the hair, I'll go out and show you the whole infinite zoom. So I just have a couple sections to do here. I think that that if a person needed to do a last minute personal gift for someone and they have any kind of graphic design or art skill, if they're good at gluing things together, even, like, that's sometimes all it takes is a good eye to put together an infinite zoom drawing. You can just do basic shapes and words, all handwritten. You don't have to be able to draw portraits and animals and all that. You can just do it with shapes and words and letters and colors. And I'll probably have a quick video. I'm going to make a video this week later about how to do an infinite zoom personalized holiday card, because I think it's super fun. You're going to be sitting around with your relatives for half the day. Might as well have some fun. Show them how creative you are. And that is concluding the curls on that guy's hair. Okay, I promised you I was going to show you the rest of the infinite zoom, so we're just going to go ahead and start at the beginning. And just so people know, I'm done with this now. So I'm going to go in here before I show you the zoom, and I'm going to find that picture, that image that I was using the colors from, and I'm going to delete that. I don't need that anymore. Okay, so there I have my image, and I'm going to go out to the beginning, to the house. So this is where the story begins. And we're going to go into the quiet house where nothing's moving, not even a mouse. The stockings are hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas would soon be there. The children are nestled all snug in their beds, with visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads. I in my mama in her kerchief and I in my cap have settled our brains for a long winter's nap. And then outside arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. I don't know how the lines go, but he runs to the window and he opens the shutters and throws up the sash. And he looks down upon the new fallen snow, where the moonlight brings luster to objects as if it's midday below or something like that. And then what should appear to his eyes but a miniature reindeer, a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. The driver was lively and quick. It had to be Saint Nick. And then he called them all out, one by one, called them all by name: Dasher, on Dancer, on Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, and Blitzen. And then it's something like to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. And as wild hurricanes fly, as leaves fly before a wild hurricane, so the coursers mounted to the sky, something like that. I'm totally messing up the poem. I will get it right when I record it. I will read it correctly. And then he comes down the chimney with a boom or a crash or a thud or something like that. And he's covered in ashes. Oh, I have to cover him in ashes and soot. So I'm going to show him all in ashes and soot here. That's what's missing. And then the smoke, he's smoking a pipe, and the smoke encircles his head like a wreath. He's a jolly old elf, kind of plump, and he goes into this whole description of him. And it made the teller of the narrator laugh in spite of himself. But quickly he knew there was nothing to dread from Santa Claus because he winked at him. And where do we go in here? We go in here. He went to work filling each stocking, and then quickly he departed with a swish up the chimney. And as he flew out of sight, he said, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." And there's our Santa Claus saying goodbye. So that's the poem. Those are all the drawings, and it's done in an infinite zoom that goes on and on. It's taken me since what's the date of what was the date of Thanksgiving? Was it the 29th? I think I started on this November 29th, and it's the 9th today. So I've been working on it about 10 or 11 days, something like that. I work during the day at my day job, and then I work on this in the evenings and the weekends, and I'm going to have it finished tonight. I do have a few details to add, though. Probably the thing that takes the longest is the consistency of getting this to match the next scene. And it's like, okay, there was a picture, a chair, what color were the stockings, so getting it to match from one to the other. And then how did I have the keys on the piano? And I had them drawn in another one too, but it's farther in, I think. But I drew the keys the same, is my point. So let's see here. I need to go to the one where he's in ashes. So we need to get him covered in ashes and soot. I am going to go to probably layer 3 right here. And we're going to make him nice and dirty. And then maybe add a little bit of black here and there. I think we need to add a little bit on his hat too. And his face. Gosh, that feels weird to make him just scribble all over the top of my drawing like that. I don't know how I like that. It's on its own layer, so it would be really easy for me to just go here with a big eraser and erase what I just did. which I'm going to do. And I'm going to redo the ashes and the soot, but I'm going to make them more beautiful because I can't help myself. So I'm going to go more over to the gray, a little bit darker. I'm going to get my big blobby brush here. And I'm feeling a little better about that, but I think I'm going to also make it feel more like believable. To me, the last one wasn't believable. That's more believable to me. So I think we need to add some more up here. See, every once in a while I get these rogue little dots that I accidentally had, and then I have to go looking for them to erase them. Okay, so I don't know what layer I was on, but I'm going to go back and find out by looking at my gray. Here is my gray. And so that is the layer I was on, layer 1. And we'll add some more gray blobs here to his backpack. I think his elbow needs one over here. And his hat definitely needs one. So now we're going to go to work with the eraser. Oops. Oops. There we go. Now I believe that. I believe that he would have ashes and soot on him like that. So we need to make the next one the same. Make it believable. That feels a little more believable. My screen's kind of jumping all over the place. Okay, that feels a little more believable. So let's look at the next one. How do we find, where do we go in on this one? The pipe? We go in on the pipe. So there he is. Maybe we'll do a little bit less ashes on this one. Yeah, that works better for me. I don't think that every single one of them has to, because like we can imagine that he brushed some of those off, right? That's where I'm going with it. Okay, and then we'll just do a small gray one here. So we had that on the other one. And then I think we just get into the portraits. So on this guy, I think I want to put a, maybe I don't want to put a background on him because I want it to be like the white reflection in the eye. It reads white from far away to match the other one. So I was going to put a yellow background in it, but that wouldn't work. So that actually means I have finished this. The only thing I need to do now, I think I had a list at the very beginning of things that I wanted to. Last night I was really tired, falling asleep, and I'm like, make a list of the things that you want to touch up tomorrow. So let's go see if I can find that list. I think it's way out here. Here it is. To-dos. Texture on Santa's bag. Oh, okay. Eyelashes on Santa. And I have to put shade on the children. Okay, so let's do the bag first. Texture on Santa's bag. I also have to texture that guy's shirt. So we're down here. So if I go out somewhere here, I've got one of his bags have texture. I think it's on the Santa sleigh drawing. Here we go. Let me go there. Santa's sleigh. Okay, so you see the texture I have there. It's squiggly lines, and then it's got like a jagged line and then curls at the top. I wonder if I can remember that with dots. Sometimes the thing to do is just take a picture of it. So, and that way I can export his image. And might as well have this be a useful image so I can use it if I need to. Export JPEG. So I framed it so that it's useful. And I'll save that image. Okay, so now I can go wherever I want in the drawing. Let's go to for head to foot here. And figure I want to draw on a layer right on top of this. So Oh, that's interesting. I guess I'm going to draw on this same layer right here. So right there is where I want to add my picture gallery, and we're going to add that picture right here. Make it a little bit bigger so I can see it pretty easy. Tap, tap, and now it's there. And I can actually eyedropper the color from here. So I think all I really need to do is do these kind of squiggly lines. I think that the jagged lines would be hard to actually see, and with all it being all scrunched together. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. We'll just go with these. There's not really any rhyme or reason to these. It's just to create an overall pattern of decoration. Kind of don't like that line right there. It's like bothering me. I'm gonna get rid of it. That's better. Okay, I did it. I added the texture to that bag. Oh, I've got a rogue dot up here again. So that's what I have to do at the end, is just clean things up. And we'll take this picture out of here. So let's see. Wherever I have the little arrow is where there's another layer to that layer. So I'm going to delete that picture. Yay, that's gone. Okay. Same thing here, but I remember what I just did, so I'm just going to pick up where. Whoa. That proves you can draw with your finger, by the way. On this program, you don't have to have a pencil. I don't think I can get the detail. Oh, maybe I can. Yeah, it's a little bit harder. But you can do quite a bit with your finger. Oh, I forgot. At the top of this, so this one does actually show the top of the bag. And the top of the bag had, I'm going to put those back. And I'm just going to go like this with the big eraser. Oh, no, nope. Okay. Undo all those. Let's look at that picture again. So we have, oh, these lovely swoopy curls at the top, dots, and then, oh, this will be fun. Swoopy curls. Oh, that's interesting. It comes like that. And then we have dots that are pretty big. You know what I think of? I think of like a brocade when I'm drawing this, which is sort of like a, I think of like a crushed velvet or a velvet that's got a pattern imprinted, embossed onto it. I think that's kind of what brocade is, or one kind of brocade maybe. I might have that wrong. But I kind of think of crushed velvet when I'm drawing that bag. Okay, next one. All right, he's got no bag in this one. Oh, I need to add the texture to this guy's shirt. So let's do that. We'll go up here. And we are going to go lighter with this. I wonder if I can, yeah, I can. That will help me. I actually think his collar is solid. I don't think I put texture on his collar. And I think it's the darker tone. So I might go back and fix that. Where's my eyedropper? I can't find it from this. There it is. Okay, we got the texture on his shirt. Thinking maybe a little bit of shading on his face. We'll go with this color here, and maybe go just a tad lighter. Go with the big, and I think I'm going to go all the way up here to this layer because I then can erase. I can erase more easily. Oops. Huh. To get the right color here. There we go. There, I like that a little bit better. I definitely wanted to go to the children's faces out here. So we'll zoom out a ways. Oops, let's get rid of that picture. That is on this layer right here. We'll delete that. There we go. Let my pencil charge. Oh, there we go. There's another rogue spot. It's on that layer. Big eraser. Ah, I found a bag that we have to do details on. Okay, so it's where he bounds down the chimney. I'll come back to that. I want to work on the kids' faces because that was on my list. And they are out here. Sugar plums. Okay, I think like I could do a little bit of shading of this guy's fingers and maybe the bottom of his nose. So what layer are we on? We're going to want to go up here on the detail layer. And use a smaller brush. That's sweet. Then let's do his fingers too. I'm going to have to go back in here and fix the ends. How can I do that? I think I can do that with a combination of this brush and an eraser. Let's go a little bit. I'll make this pillow seem a little poofy. Same with hers. I wonder if I need to go just a tad lighter than that. There we go. I also wonder if I can kind of like just add a little bit of shading to the background. Kind of like that. Oops. Yeah, the bed is on the very background layer, so I can't draw behind it. That's good enough. I like that. That works for me. Let's go back out to that original list and see. So I think that's how I end up with my rogue spots, because I'll tap on a tool and it won't get the tool right away, and it'll think, oh, you want me to put a dot there with your pencil. Okay, so my list was out here. I have one bag to do still. Santa's bag. I got one left to do. Oh, eyelashes. I did shade the children. So eyelashes on Santa and the one bag, and it was bound down the chimney. Down with a bound. So I'm going to go up to this top layer, and I am going to erase those little gold lines. I don't have those on any of the other bags, so let's stay consistent. And let's go with a nice light red. So how did that work? It went like, I think I need to be on a different layer here. This is a little bit messy here, isn't it? Maybe I'll clean that up a little bit. Let's go up to the gold top layer. And there we have that rogue pink dot. Where do we go to find that? Here we go. We have some messy messies to clean up. That's better. Looking for funny bits, funny spots. Oh, I found one. It looks like a gingerbread man sneaking his head around the corner here on this stone. That's so funny. I wonder where those gold dots are. We're just going to have to cover them up with the gray. There we go. I want you all to know that I put Magnum in my "Twas the Night Before Christmas." That's my horse. He's a gray horse. He's now almost white. He's older now. He's 16 now, so he's turned white. Took him a while. He stayed gray a long time. Somebody said 67. That's like my last comment, and I have no idea what they were talking about. Found it. we're working our way back out to the beginning. So this concludes the drawing of this animation, this infinite zoom still drawing that turns into a film, a moving film. You can find the video that I'm going to make of this with the poem recorded by me on my long form videos in a day or two. I have to actually record the screen and then edit it a little bit in another program, add the voice over poem reading, and then I'll upload it to YouTube. So it's another evening's work probably. And that brings us to the beginning. Thank you so much for coming by today. I am going to, if you haven't had a chance to sub, please hit the sub button and we can stay connected that way. I'm looking forward to seeing you on here again, and I'll be back probably on the weekend. Thanks, everybody. Good night.